Steve
Joy.
and John from Hound Red Brewing Company. Thank you for joining us on Rock 95.5's Thursday today.
Thanks for having us.
Of course. We got to dive right in. I want to hear all about Hound Red. However, that obviously starts with your guys' first ever alcoholic beverage. Who wants to start? Take me through the story.
I wasn't part of the first one, so I'll let John.
No. I mean, like your first personal ever alcoholic beverage. That's a universal unifying experience.
Oh, what did I have to drink first? It was a non-alcoholic beer. It was called Old Style NA. And I got it from my brother. That was the very first one. After that, there was little sips from my uncle at weddings. And then
you were such a good kid.
Yeah. Well, I was a kid though, so there's that.
Fair.
And then from there, first craft beer or similar such product was like probably Killian's Red. That was the first thing that was away from American Light Lager that I had ever had, and that started the love affair that continued out through my life.
Very responsible.
Yeah.
John, were you as responsible with your first ever alcoholic beverage?
Actually, I was even more responsible than Steve because
Yeah.
We drank Budweiser in the house. And this is way back when there were still covered wagons.
Yeah.
Naturally.
And dinosaurs.
But I really didn't like the taste of beer. I didn't really drink until I went away to college. And once I got there, I started drinking really nice German and French wines. That was my first real thing with alcohol. I really didn't care for beer.
German and French wines.
When I started drinking craft beer, it was European beers like Grolsch or Pilsner or Claw or Anchor Steam. And then I got into Sierra Nevada, and that's when I realized that beer was really good.
A revelation, truly. Okay,
Yeah.
now I feel like I need to be wearing a tie or something.
We're all good.
Since we have these connoisseurs here.
Yeah.
People have always said, well, when I was drinking wine, people always say, well, are you a wine connoisseur? And I go, no, I just know what I like to drink. You should always drink what you like.
Yeah.
And so obviously now I drink a lot of craft beer.
By the time I had really gotten into craft beer, I was already home brewing. So that was a big part of my beer journey. And then,
so how'd you get into home brewing then?
Wow. How long do we have on here? So
as long as you want.
So I was in the Army in '94.
Okay.
And stationed near the Washington, Oregon border.
Okay.
And my cousin just happens to live right around that area. So went to go visit him. He was like taking me out to all these things that I probably shouldn't have been around at 19 years old. But one of the things was a homebrew supply shop. And I thought to myself, I could probably buy things at 19, as long as it's not alcoholic, I can buy it, right? So I bought the things and I started making beer in the barracks. And to kind of condense the story a little bit, when I went to Korea, I had to ship all my stuff to my brother, and he started brewing and got good. I didn't like that, so I had to get better, and then it kind of went back and forth until I eventually got into the craft beer industry around 2010, and he can just look at what I'm doing now. So there's that.
So you one-upped yourself into a career is what happened there.
Yeah.
So here with that, John, how did you end up getting into brewing?
Well, I'm not a brewer.
Into the brewery business, should I say.
Into the brewing business. Well, I saw craft beer coming along, and I was a partner at some Italian restaurants and a Thai restaurant, and in the restaurant business. And I kept telling all my friends that were in the bar business, you really got to look at this craft beer stuff because it's really coming on. And this was maybe 15 years ago. And everybody was going, no, we're doing fine with the macro brew beers that we're doing. Construction's going great. We got these guys in here all the time drinking, and they're not going to pay that kind of money for beer. And I went, okay, fine. And then I found a little hole in the wall that had been a restaurant, but was closed. I knew the landlord. I walked in and Gammon Coach House was born. And
Wow.
all we served, and it'll be 11 years in September, that all we served was craft beer. We didn't serve anything but craft beer.
Wow.
The closest thing we came was we served Trumer Pils,
Mm.
an Austrian beer, but it was being made in California, so it was still American as far as I was concerned. So that's all we did was craft beer. And people went, I don't believe this, but we gave them tastes constantly. Anytime we tapped a beer, everybody at the bar got a free taste of that new beer. And we sold 1,000 beers on tap, different beers in 3.5 years. So,
Wow.
you know, and I've been there ever since. So
Just casually, immediately successful.
well, didn't know it was going to be as successful as it ended up being,
Right.
but it was all good. And now, of course, I went, well, what's the next step? Let's open a brewery.
Yeah. So then how did you
Thanks, John.
and Steve find each other and decide to open this brewery together?
Well, we opened just at the 6 months before COVID.
Lit.
So it was a real struggle.
Yeah.
We had a brewer at that point in time that had been with us. But as things went along, his idea about what he wanted us to do and what we needed to do as a business weren't matching up. So in the end, we started looking for another brewer, and we were lucky enough to find Steve, and he's awesome. So
And Steve was like, hell yeah, the other guy's gonna hate this.
I'm
This is
actually friends with the other guy. I know him.
Doesn't matter. It's not the point. That almost makes it better a little bit, I feel like. Okay, so tell me about some of the beers that you guys have on tap and where you source your hops from, and talk to me a bit about the work and really artistry, let's be honest, that goes into what brewing is.
Yeah, to start, the thing that I love about being a brewer is I get to make what I like and hope that other people do as well. And as it happens, there's a number of people that do, so it's nice. But starting out, the first beer that I did here, and I thought this was your earlier question, but I guess it fits in better here, is I made a Hella style lager called Open the Gates To, which it opened the gates to my career here, opened the gates to, it's a Hellas lager, so there's that pun.
We love it.
And then and all that kind of stuff. So that's where that all began. But I do a whole bunch of lagers. I do all the hazy IPAs, West Coast IPAs, farmhouse ales, which are kind of dying down around all around, but I love them and I'm bringing them back. Yeah.
Thank you. I love farmhouse ales too.
I'm bringing farmhouse back.
The new JT song. I'm bringing farmhouse back.
Yeah.
works for me.
Hell yes. So continue.
And then sours and stouts and like the whole all of it. But I think you were alluding to this a little bit. There's the science of it for sure, but then there's so much of the artistry, the putting myself into the recipes, and that I think comes through in what I do.
Yeah, I think that's a very rare trait to have. I'm going to give you all the compliments right now, because brewing really is both a science and an art. It takes a rare person to be able to pull off both of those aspects of it, because it's highly technical. You get one thing wrong, that batch doesn't brew right, guess what?
Yeah.
You're done with that batch. This
Right.
tastes like crap and we can't sell that sucks.
Yeah.
So you have to get the science right, but then you also have to get something interesting, and people don't just want to drink the same Pilsner, the same Kolsch, the same IPA, whatever it is. You want to add something different, but also not too crazy. We don't always want blueberry beer. Sometimes we want a blueberry beer, but we don't always want a blueberry beer. So
right. Yeah.
again, that's where the art comes in to the science, so that what you do is very I think more highly skilled than people even can possibly consider. John, what would you say about it?
The number one thing is to be a really good brewer. First of all, you have to have enough knowledge to be able to, in your head, put that recipe together and then go ahead and make that beer. But the most important thing after that is that beer going to be made the same way the second time around? Because if a brewer can't do that, then you're making one-offs all the time.
Yep.
And, all of a sudden you go, God, I really like that Marzen that Two Hound Red's putting out, but this one tastes different than the one I had last year. I don't think it's as good. Or this one is really good now. So it's one of those things where consistency,
yep,
is so important. And that with creativity makes just a super brewer, which, I think we got it.
Super brewer Steve.
I try.
There you go.
Thursday,
and I have to buy you a cake.
Yes.
Yeah.
Wait, no, and make it mandatory. That is mandatory
yeah.
uniform from now on.
Yeah, and on my brewery tours, I will wear a cape.
So we know obviously you guys love the beer. There are a lot of breweries in Illinois, the greater Chicagoland area. What do you think sets Two Hound Red apart?
I think that a lot of breweries nowadays get caught up in trends, and I'm not saying that this is a bad thing, but
Sure.
there's all the pastry stouts, overdoing it on hazies, and the seltzers that were really big, especially like last year.
Mhm.
And I think that you need to have a piece of the trends, but I feel like you need to be connected to where the beer came from, and continue on that tradition and move that onto each brewer that comes after you. If you lose sight of where you came from, it's going to be hard to really move forward. And all like the best stuff was already done. So I'm, like I said, I'm doing all this stuff. I'm doing the pastry stouts. I'm doing the hazies. I'm doing all that stuff, but I'm still doing farmhouse ales. I'm still doing, old world lagers and Trappist ales and like all of that kind of stuff. So I'm just, and that's me. So this is another aspect of who I am coming through in the liquid.
Right. So you're staying true to yourself. You're touching on the trends, but you're like, more or less, this is who we are, what we got. What you're coming in, and we're going to have a consistently amazing product that you're going to love drinking, in hopefully not too excessive amounts, but maybe a little bit excessive.
Yeah.
Maybe we get a little excessive with it.
And it's not going to just be like 8 of the same style. I've got 16 draft lines, and it's going to be a whole wide variety of beers on those lines.
Right. John, what would you say?
We're very fortunate in that we basically have two systems. We have the big system where we can put out a lot of, let's say, our Angel of Light, which is a light lager, which has really been taken well by the public. People really enjoy that. But also we keep that brewery, that little brewery idea coming through, because we have the pilot system where we can make small batches of beer and we can experiment and we can try new things and we can make something just for in-house at Two Hound Red. And that, I think, captures both the little neighborhood brewery and also that brewery that's producing stuff that goes out to other bars and restaurants. So I think we're covering it all, and Steve gets a chance to do all sorts of things that he wants to do to make beer. And we're happy with the stuff he's making. So he's just going to keep doing it.
Absolutely. It sounds like you guys have like your own little community there at Two Hound Red. And I'm sure a lot of people come in and out of those doors. And that's a wide variety of personalities. Do you have any customer stories that stick out in your head as either this was touching and this is why I do this, or maybe it was, what the hell was that? Anything that sticks out?
anything for you, John? I don't get to see, I've been trying to keep very, very safe throughout the pandemic, and I don't get to mingle very much with
Well, yeah, you can't go down. You can't get COVID. If you get
Yeah.
COVID, oh God.
Yeah, I have a little girl to take care of, and so I'm trying to keep her protected. So yeah, I haven't been able to do a whole lot of that. I do beer dinners though, and so I have seen some people during those, even though I still kind of try to keep my distance. I have gotten some conversations, but people just overall saying that they appreciate what I do, and I appreciate them for that. But I don't have a whole wide variety. John might have a little bit more. He's up around a bit more than I am.
John, give it to me.
Yeah, well, when we started, we were very busy at the very beginning, but obviously COVID hit, and trying to sell draft beer in the middle of a pandemic was very tough for us. And we didn't have anything to do with canning or anything like that. So we've just, after Steve came back on board, we just started really starting to reach into that and got our own canning line and everything else. So our customers have been very loyal to us. They like what we're doing. Overall, they're looking forward to things, and they keep starting to ask for, well, where's this beer? Or how come you don't make that beer anymore? And we take that feedback from our customers, and then we go, look, okay, Beach Day. Yeah, nice, easy drinking, hazy IPA. We're going to bring that back for the summer, because we ran it last year as a small batch. We're going to make it a big batch because everybody wants to see it again. So we take a lot of input from the customers throughout, and we're starting to build a good repertoire of things that the customers like and what they're looking forward to. So that for us is, we take care of the brewer, we take care of the customer, and our customers will take care of the building.
That's great in general that you're even getting that much feedback. I mean, that means your customers are engaged, they're invested in the location, they want to keep coming back, they care. That's huge. That says everything.
Well, if you don't ask,
yeah,
customers aren't going to listen to you.
Right.
All right, because they're not going to think that you really care about them. You're just trying to sell them something. So you have to integrate yourself into the customers and into what's going on in your business, because it's a two-way street. And so we take care of the community. We do fundraisers and stuff within the community. We've created beers for different charity events and stuff like that. So, I mean, we really try to be part of the community, because my philosophy has always been, in every business I've ever had, if you're going to take money out of the community, you need to put something back into the community. So we support a lot of charities and stuff like that. And that goes for Hound Red or Gamma Coach House. It doesn't matter. It's all about giving back.
Yeah, absolutely. So tell me a bit about this charity work that you guys do. Which charities do you like to focus on?
Well, we have a friend of ours, Chet Brett, who is trying to create this new charity. All right. So he's incorporating and stuff like that. And last year, for the homecoming for Glenbard North, we created a beer, and we basically gave part of that money from that beer to this charity. And so we're working on that. I'd love to sometime have you talk to Chet about this, because it's really coming to fruition, and it's going to be really, really good. And it'll include a lot of other breweries and stuff like that, but it's always for a good cause. Like for us, it's going to be about the food bank, because, I mean, things are getting tougher all the time, and prices are going up. People still need to eat. So we've got to take care of these people.
And I've done more recently 2 beers with Hope for the Day, which supports mental health. So just trying to give back to people and their struggles, especially during, COVID and everything, when times have been really hard on people's mental health.
Ain't that the truth?
Yeah.
I'm very open about my mental health. I have PTSD and depression and anxiety. I got the whole
Oh.
gambit, and it's been a great couple of years, hasn't it, you guys? It's been
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah.
It's been great. Yeah, but luckily we have breweries like you guys to
Well,
Yeah,
help
keep
us
going.
with our mental health.
yeah, maybe it's just a medication center.
It's basically a pharmacy.
Yeah.
A liquid pharmacy. All right. So what do you guys have coming up for the rest of 2022? And anything you want to let the people know, get it out.
Steve?
Let's see. I'm always just coming off the cuff, and I just continually do new things. But one of the bigger things I think is we're kind of trying to consolidate our label art for our for the cans that we put out. So we have a whole new style of cans coming out. You'll see more cans coming out to all the liquor stores and bottle shops. So that's going to be a big focus, big push. As far as beers that I'm working on right now, I'm always doing, John talked about Angel of Light. So I've always got a new fresh batch of that going. I've got, he also talked about Beach Day, which is my Father's Day session IPA. And that's coming out. And Dressed in White, which is a Belgian style wit beer, that's coming out. Yeah, I'm actually brewing that tomorrow. So all that sort of fun stuff
I
happening
love
right
a
now.
wit beer. I love
Yeah.
a wit beer so much.
Yeah. And then I'm doing a Vienna lager as well. So that'll be coming up too.
Yep. Yeah,
John,
and
what you got?
we're looking forward to coming up here. Hello?
I can hear you.
Okay, yeah. So we're looking forward to the fall already. We're starting to plan on that so we can get a good Marson out there. Oktoberfest. We're gonna make sure that we're gonna do something at the brewery as far as incorporating it into our food, things like that for October, which is
party.
late September, and so yeah, have a little party.
Yes. We love
It'll
a
all be
party.
fun.
Obviously, the Rock 95.5 Thursday crew has to get out there for the party because we love to party.
Oh, for sure. We'd love to have you.
Absolutely.
Also, the Rock 95.5 Thursday crew is me. It's just me. I love to party.
Okay. Awesome.
It's okay. All right.
Build up that crew.
I don't have any friends, which is why I need to
We
go to
got
2
two
Hound
now.
Red.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah. Meet some friends here.
You guys are we best friends now?
Already.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
The 3 best friends that anyone can have. This has been great.
All right.
Yeah.
Thanks for
Awesome.
joining us today, guys.